Who would I need to be to get this confession? Who would I need to be the kind of a person to ask a person to confess to something that's going to put them in jail for 25 years?
And my future self's needs are more important than mine right now. That's discipline.
I have gotten many different requests for this particular video. This is not like a normal one that I do. This is literally a review of a program available from the behavior panel, specifically from Chase Hughes.
There's a couple things just a little unusual here. We have an unusual person with an unusual life, an unusual backstory.
Now for the rest of this video, let's look at exactly what you get when you pay the almost $700 for the course for Authority. First thing you'll notice here is you go to the website. This is what you see at the website. These are all the different things that he offers. Then when you go to log in, it's just like every other place. This is what I purchased for almost $700. Authority and Behavioral Leadership. These are the modules that you'll get, and each module is basically a video that is everywhere from an hour to an hour and a half long. Now, the only thing, here's when you click on module 1, the only thing I would say about this website is once you get into the modules, you'll notice over here, this is the only thing that rubs me a little bit strange about this website, is that when you get to the different modules, it's just the stock gibberish words that come on the template. Now, these are the prices. See, this is the one we're looking at today. Authority, the Influence Master Key. And then they range in price all the way up to the very high level, which are interview and interrogation. And this one is just almost $8,000. Now, let me show you step by step what you get with each one of these 6 modules. Here we go, Authority Module 1. Once we go into there, we go ahead and open up that video.
Who would I need to be to get this confession? Who would I need to be the kind of a person to ask a person to confess to something that's going to put them in jail for 25 years? But with that, welcome to the training. I'm going to bring up our PowerPoint here on the screen.
So in Module 1, the introduction, you don't want to miss this. This builds the entire platform on which all the other 5 modules are based. He's going to run you through what's called the triune brain theory. It's something that I teach as well. But he lays out very meticulously how those 3 parts of your brain work together, how decisions are made, how he can and you can, if you learn, you can influence how, when, where, and what to do to invoke all types of chemicals being released into somebody's system that allows you to get them to make decisions or to make statements. He will teach you how to invoke a very simple process that forces electricity into different parts of your brain to get your subject to act a certain way or do certain things. It's very interesting. Now let's get to Module 2.
Let's talk about the pendulum. We see this in many aspects of our lives: dating, in relationships, in working with coworkers, in money, how we deal with money.
Module 2 is about composure, confidence, and what he calls scripts. This is very interesting because the scripts that every human being operates by are almost like applications on your phone. They are things that can be inherited, they can be learned. They're things that we do by rote memory. Let me give you an example. If you drive from your home to work, you can oftentimes get from your house to work and you get there safely and you park and you don't remember the ride. Why is that? That's because your brain, as Chase would put it, is running on the script that drives you to work, or the application, like the app on your phone that gets you to work. Psychologists would say this is rote memory. In other words, you don't even have to think about it. It's like driving a car. You don't have to go, I better turn left, or I better turn right. You just do it. It's called rote memory. So what he does is he teaches you how every person lives by these scripts, or what we would call apps or applications. And it's everything from the script that you use to do your job to the script that you use to take a shower. All these things you don't even really have to think about. Your body goes through the motions. And he teaches you how to break people out of scripts to get their attention, to control them if need be, or to get them to assume or to do certain things. He teaches how to invoke scripts to put someone in a state of mind that helps you to get what you need out of that person. It's very interesting, and that is Module 2. Let's move on to Module 3.
In the interim, last night, hopefully there were some good insights that you got, and you were able to contemplate what is really going on behind the scenes. And my ultimate goal is to fundamentally change not just the skills that you're using or the implementation of these techniques, but just the way that you view human beings and the way that you see the world.
This module is all about confidence, strengths, and weaknesses, understanding what your strengths are, where you're weak, and what other people's strengths and weaknesses are. It also really deeply teaches the things that I told you about him in other videos, where Chase is a guy who speaks methodically. He doesn't move quickly. He makes sure that his speech is measured. When he looks at you, his eyes aren't blinking all over the place. His blink rate is slow and controlled. This gives you all of the implications that you are in control, you are in authority, and you have confidence. So day 3 teaches you very deeply about confidence, how you can really get others to do almost anything that you want them to do based on how confident you appear. And that in turn instills confidence in them. Let's go to module 4.
If I'm a level 2 in discipline, let's say, I identify with most of these things, and maybe a few here and a few on the other side. And my goal, if I'm a level 2, these are probably not great goals. I might be shooting for something up here. So I might be shooting for goals in the number 4 block. And we see that finally, once we get to number 5 here, is that it becomes contagious.
I have to admit that module 4 is probably my favorite. This is the one where it literally lays out all of these things that you need to be doing, where you rate yourself on a 1 to 5 scale, and why it is that you are either stuck where you are at or what you need to do to get where you need to go, to have more authority, to have more control. This is literally the nuts and bolts of what it takes to get you to either be a leader at your work, a leader in your family, or even all the way up to being a person who can literally lead a cult if you really wanted to. Very intense, but good information in this module. Let's move on to module 5.
So we talked about 2 sides of this Illuminati triangle here. I want to bring you down to the bottom. So I want you just to understand the anatomy of this thing. The far left is our personal behavior. So confidence, discipline, leadership, gratitude, and enjoyment are the 5 behavioral traits of authority. The 5 effects of authority, or tripwires, that we have are movement, appearance, confidence, connection, and intent. Finally, on the bottom, we talked about leakage. What I'm doing off camera makes a huge difference when I am on camera. So I want you just to think about a time that you went out to a fancy party, and you go to the party, and there's a part of your brain somehow dedicated to memorizing and reminding you that you are not who you are portraying in this situation.
This is where it gets deep into how you become a leader, how you become someone who has absolute control. You can literally take these specific things in module 5 and you can control one person, or you can control hundreds or even thousands of people by simply following the directions here. Now let's look at the final module, module 6.
So I did a lot of time in the Navy. I talked a couple stories about it very briefly. But there's one thing in the Navy that is repeated in gunfighting school. And I think I probably know more about gunfighting than human behavior. And it's being brilliant on the basics. Brilliant on the basics.
This one's all about overcoming anxiety, because if you come across as a person who is anxious or has some type of concern about the things that you're doing, you don't appear as though you're in control. If you walked onto an airplane and the pilot looked really nervous and skittish and talked really fast and blinked really fast and sweated a lot and looked really unsure of himself, you wouldn't want to fly in that plane. This gives you the examples like that that tell you that you need to come across as not a person that's dealing with anxiety, but a person who is confident. This is a very, very good way to wrap this whole thing up. In addition, he also takes some Q&A from people that are online watching. Now, my overall assessment of this is, if you are looking for something that you can plug into and watch and learn to create a cult and control the world, this is probably not your thing, because it really puts all the onus back on you. If you buy this course and you study it, and you put into practice all the things that it says, you will literally become a great leader. But it all comes back to you, because if you don't take care of doing the things that make you a good leader, no one is going to follow you. So what would I give this particular course? If you're thinking, I just need to buy this and I can control the world, don't do it. It's a waste of your money. But if you're looking to say, what can I do to fix myself so that other people will follow me? And when they follow me, then I can literally control the situation or control the narrative, then this is definitely for you and worth the $687 or whatever dollars it is, just under $700, definitely worth it. All right, folks, I know this video was a little different than what you normally see on here, but it was requested by a lot of my subscribers. Now, in the meantime, I have plenty of other psychology and body language on this channel and more coming out in the next day or two. So in the meantime, check out one of these other videos, and I will see you guys in the next video.